Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from COPA. We're going to find out what COPA is. Hopefully it is COPA because our staff's been kind of talking about this. But I've got somebody famous here, and it's David.
That's right.
It's not this guy. Nobody recognizes this guy in the middle here. I've heard of you. What's your name, sir?
Well, don't hear too much about me because it's probably wrong, but you know who I am. You know me.
It's Mike Leckrone. And David, pretty special guy here, but you got some history here too, so we'll get to it. But today we're going to be talking about COPA, which is right in our backyard here of Fitchburg. We're so excited to have you guys here. More importantly, the work that you're going to be doing. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. So David, you get the first question. You're setting up the interview big time here. Can you tell us a little bit about COPA? What is COPA? And hopefully I'm saying it right.
Sure. Community organizations promoting the arts. So it is actually a pair of organizations we created a few years ago. We've gone through some growing pains. We've pretty much reconstituted post-COVID with all new board members and some great new folks. But our interest is in promoting arts in Fitchburg and the greater Madison area. And arts defined broadly to include, first and foremost music and performing arts, but also moving more into visual arts.
It's pretty cool to have just any arts wherever, but your organization structure being more than music, it includes a little bit of everything.
Well, yeah, and I came in through the side door. I'm just a music guy. But
just a music guy.
When you get involved with all these things that are happening, then you just naturally, it just naturally cuts off the other things. I didn't know an awful lot about stagecraft, and I found that I do more and more and more of that now that I don't have a regular job. But I think those are the things that I've seen COPA do, and it's got people involved. There are new jobs open for people as technicians, as people who actually, I say, do stage work. Everything from knowing how to put up a scene or how to light a scene. All those things have to happen.
So you get the opportunity to learn a little bit about different areas in the arts.
And I don't know if David would agree with this, but I think that's been one of our main forces right now is that opportunity for kids to learn, for kids to come in a setting that's professional and they can learn from what they're doing.
That's interesting you say that because you want to get kids at younger ages. We hear this all the time that you want to get people interested in whatever craft that they're interested in, but the younger the better. So you're bringing them in at a young age to any age, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's you said it right. It's any age because there are people who, like me, have retired and they're looking for something to challenge them, something for them to do outside of what they were doing for 40 or 50 years. And this gives them an opportunity to kind of go back and relearn.
Absolutely. So the facility, where are you guys at and what's going on in there currently?
So our current facility is at 2841 Index Road. We call it the COPA Sale Building. And it's actually interesting. We've got about just shy of 11,000 square feet in there now. And we are coming back to the city council and asking to use an additional nearly 8,000 square feet. So we're growing. Before COVID hit, we were on a pretty good trajectory, bringing in more organizations that need space for rehearsals and recitals and dance studios and the like. Since COVID has kind of finally loosened its grip on us, we just see the demand skyrocketing. So on any given day, we hope to have everything from strings programs to dance programs. There's a big emphasis on youth development. Obviously, COVID set kids back a lot. But we like to talk about STEAM. So instead of just kind of the traditional science, technology, engineering, math, we stick an A in there for art. and there's a lot of not to get too heady, but a lot of brain science. There's a lot of people at universities studying how the arts have an impact on the development of children into well-rounded adults. So, there's a lot of things going on in there. They range from small individual lessons to some larger recitals and the like that we do have professional production facilities. There's television capability, stage and lighting, and so there's that economic aspect to it too, of not only helping develop young people's intellect, but also perhaps putting them on a career path.
Did you guys see Matt? I've been in this area all my life and enjoyed Mike for many years. But Mike, for you guys too, do you feel like this area, Dane County, Madison area, there's a lot of art talent here? So did that help in bringing this organization forward? Like you guys saw a need there to help people, or what drove you to kind of get going on that front?
Well, I sort of, as I said, came in the side door. The reason I got involved initially with COPA was I kept getting phone calls. I had retired, and people think when you're retired, you got plenty of time on your hands. So I kept getting calls. We need a spot to rehearse. Can you think of a place where we can go? We need a place just to block out some things. No elaborate. And there wasn't anything. Mm-hmm. Or if it was there, it was very expensive to do. And a lot of people didn't want, I shouldn't put it quite that bluntly, but fact is they didn't want groups to come in because they had their own scheduling problems. So people kept calling me, saying, is there a place where we can rehearse? Do you know of a place where we could do a performance for just a few people? And so I started asking around, and I discovered there was really a need. There was a strong need for this to happen at an affordable price, and I think that's what we started at that point, or at least I started at that point, to discover what was available and what people could do with it.
And I think this area has been full of talent of many different forms of art, and so given the opportunity for people to have a place to go that's easy, accessible, affordable, all of that is great. And there's a lot more to come too. You guys are in the midst of developing this into something even bigger. But Mike, to get to that point, you've got what is called the Leckrone Arts Fund. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm very flattered that they called it that, but the basic idea of the fund is to provide an initial amount of money so that we can start the programs, so that we can start getting those things off the ground. And it's been successful so far with really no funding to come in, but now people are starting to see that this is a valuable thing. I think that it's not funded by my particular interest, but I love these little kids who are playing violin and are come in, and they can't only play me on one string, but it's a start, and just to experience the joy that they're experiencing is fun.
And David, the facility can grow, as you said, and it's got plenty of opportunity to grow further. How can they do that?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we are getting some great new groups in. So the Madison Jazz Society is going to come back and take up residency. We have an internal program called Harmony of Madison, which is focused on youth education and has been doing some great work with One City Schools, and they did programs in the summer for some other school districts. So we're getting more and more programs. I think that contacting us through the website is the way a group might articulate their interest in trying to find space. And as I said, we are going through the permitting process with the city at this point to expand and have more salons and more lesson space and more opportunity for people not just to sharpen and practice their craft, but then also to have smaller performances and recitals. I mean, I think one of the rewards for being a musician or a dancer at any age is you do it because of the energy that you feed off of when you get in front of an audience. And so it's really important that we provide those opportunities for some limited office space, performance space. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of ways to get involved. The website, www.copamadison.com is the website. I want to go back to the Leckrone Arts Fund, though. So Mike's a very humble guy, despite all of his flashy sequins and all that. And we're very honored that he's embraced and lent his name to this program. And you know, our intention is to really create a legacy fund, a fund that can help support arts and arts education for, you know, perpetuity if things go right. And then as we progress and begin to seek funding and build a much nicer, state-of-the-art, purpose-built facility, which is in the cards, then we'll have the financial backing for the groups that want to use that. There are some great other facilities in the Madison area, make no doubt about it, but to come back to your question, there's just not enough. I mean, you almost have to think about it in a sports metaphor. I mean, you need to have the Little League diamond someplace that kids can start at and work their way up to the high school fields and, you know, on to Warner Park and beyond if you're in the baseball metaphor. But so that's what we're trying to do is provide arts development for everybody, and we really need people to help support the Leckrone Arts Fund to get us to do that.
Mike, for people who aren't, you've been in a ton of crowd, people watching you. You've been at performances that are amazing. You've been the centerpiece. But for some kid to step into that world in the arts and get that passion and get that motivation, that can take them, and you've got to see them at all ages, but that can take it and set their career path, their future to something awesome. And it might be not your traditional 9 to 5 day job or whatever, but the arts leads you to bigger and better things.
Performers like to perform. It doesn't matter whether it's for one person or 10,000 people. They like to perform. And I think what I've seen is we're giving them that opportunity, and there's that opportunity for growth. You can see some of these kids take it. Some will never go beyond maybe the beginning stage, but they love doing it, and loving doing it is what we're about, and trying to get people to keep on doing it. I mean, I referred to it before, but I won't forget the joy that I saw these kids play, and not really play anything that was magnificent, but just the opportunity to play. That's the reason we've all got started in performing.
And to hear the applause.
That's what I mean. Until you're up on that stage, and it doesn't matter the size of the group. It doesn't matter. It's that opportunity to share something with whoever's in the room, and that you're doing something. It's incredible.
We've been really fortunate. There's been some great artists that have come through the area, from the Steve Millers and the Cheap Tricks and the Ben Sidrons and the Butch Viggs, and I mean, you know, the list just goes on and on and on. And you know, we're able to, in some ways, tap some of those connections. If you look at our website, you see Butch Viggs up there as one of our ambassadors. I know our visionary Dale works for a major artist. I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to say his name on TV, but he's an English guy and plays the piano.
Wears funny
glasses. Yeah. But you know, that's coming to an end, and you know, we're talking about, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but maybe doing some workshops this summer from some people from his band. So there's just great things headed our way, and it gets bigger and bigger, but we need the community's support and engagement.
All right. Well, you got to join out there. It's time to join. Maybe you can say hi to Mike when you come in. Definitely say hi to David. But more importantly, get out there and try something, right? This is your opportunity to take advantage of some great resources.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned it earlier. There's another age that really wants that opportunity too. There's the senior citizens who, yep. There's a need for community bands. There's a need for just groups, jazz players who maybe have gone beyond their time, love to keep playing jazz, and you're going to go to somebody's basement, which is never satisfactory. COPA right now, even right now in its beginning stages, has some great facilities. I mean, they're kind of behind the stage right now, but there's a lot of facilities. If you walk in the building, you'll say, wow, I didn't know they had this kind of lighting. I didn't know they had this kind of sound. I didn't know they had this kind of technicians. So we've started at that level with the idea that it's going to grow, and it will grow. My personal feeling, as soon as we get all these programs in place in the new building and everything, it's going to be obsolete because there's such a demand on what's going on. You mentioned Little League. As soon as you get all the Little League diamonds you need
more. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the way with
it's
the
a
arts.
good problem to have.
Yeah, that's what the arts have to do.
Well, I think you guys have recognized it, and you're taking it that direction. So for that, we can say thank you, and thank you both for taking the time. You can check the website, as mentioned. Sure, you got some social media stuff out there as well. So
yeah, absolutely. If the QR code comes up on screen, by all means, do what you do with that, and make sure to support the cause.
Yeah.
Your money stays here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to the both of you for coming out here, and we'll look forward to hearing some more updates real soon. And